datum or the information would have to be true in the field of art. What am I saying? From that, we can conclude that that would mean that there are also two types of artists. In other words, there are constructive artists that produce constructive art, and there are destructive artists that produce destructive art. Y'all all right? We need for the constructive artists to show up and make this world a better place. And all of us in here and those that we know, we need to support those artists. Why do we need for constructive artists to show up? Simple. It is the artist that can lead us to heaven, or is the artist that can lead us to hell. Today, too many of us in our communities are going to hell, or they're in hell. At this very moment, we can see that destructive artists are showing up in a far greater number than constructive artists. We know this is true by looking at the degradation that exists in our communities. Statistically, African Americans and Latinos are overrepresented in special education, with 7 out of 10 never graduating from high school or from the special ed programs. Children in the inner cities continue to be singled out and called mentally deficient and given labels like attention deficit disorder, after which they are legally forced to take mind-altering drugs like Ritalin, Prozac, Thorazine, Zoloft, that are more potent than LSD and PCP. We still have one single youth in the United States dropping out of school every 46 seconds. We still see 80% of those in prison remain illiterate. California continues to be a state which has more African-American males in prison than they have graduating from high school. We continue to be a nation with more than 700,000 African-American males in prison, yet we have less than 200,000 in our colleges and universities. These are the realities that we face today, saints, and they do not stop there. We as a nation face an even greater threat than these. What is really at stake here is this. It is our stability and our freedom, our personal freedom. Now more than ever, we need for constructive artists to show up to help the so-called civilized world overcome the four-headed monster that we face here in the inner cities of North America. Ladies and gentlemen, Ebony Awakening, Ebony Awakening, Ebony Awakening, amen, is a group of wonderful human beings who will come together merely to help save mankind with the technology, amen, of Mr. Hubbard that he shares. And so I, myself, amen, they say I'm a forerunner because I'm a Baptist preacher who embraced this technology. Amen. Let me just tell you this. I ain't no fool. I hope you figured that out by now. The Bible says you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The beautiful thing about that is that many of you miss that, because the truth of the matter is, you see, when you know the truth, amen, that means, Dr. Kenny, you ain't even got no choice. That's why we won't look. See, we know if we look, we're going to know. And so when I looked, then I knew I didn't have no choice. I became free. And I dedicated my life, and that's why I'm a part, and I'll see you next year, to come and tell that we need to embrace and latch on to that which helps set our people free. And we need to share this and give this to artists so they can help lead our people free. We're here this weekend, this gathering this weekend is a holy, amen, a hallowed event and experience that we come together. And so y'all black folks in here and the white folks too, y'all need to grab hold of this technology. You need to look at what is offered here, what we represent, so it can help you to save our people. I hope I have said something that has inspired you to get involved and to help and to look. I hope I have given you your reasons to do something about it. I hope I have given you some food for thought and some ammunition to fight against those entities that are destroying our communities. I hope I have said something that lets you know and calls you to come to understand how important the artist is in our society and in the world. I hope I have said something that will change your life. God bless you. God keep you. I love you forever. I'll see you next year. Thank you.
Wow. That was incredible.
It is.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Pat, we only have about a minute left. What would you like to communicate the most about this endeavor?
Well, what I want to say is that the Church of Scientology is involved in helping all communities, but certainly for African Americans who have helped build America, I want African Americans to know that this technology, Mr. Hubbard's technology, can be used to raise the culture. And, you know, he's led the way by saying art. Art can raise a culture. And certainly we have artists who are African Americans, a lot of artists who are African Americans, and that art can be used to raise the culture.
Pat, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed.
It's been a real pleasure as usual.
Yes, thank you.
Let's do it again.
Sure, we will.
All right. Great. I wanted to mention again that we do have this book that I'll send you a free copy, thanks to Pat Harney here, who's going to get us some. This is actually a terrific book. Call the 800 number on your screen. It's 1-800-631-0744. It's free. We're going to send it to you for free. And it's called Ron the Artist. And in it, Mr. Hubbard covers a lot of incredible things about art, what art is, and as Pat said, how art can be used to raise a culture. Because what we want is constructive art. And that's what this is all about. 1-800-631-0744 to get you a copy of this. I was flipping through this thing. It is amazing. Just tons of pictures and articles. It's incredible. Anyway, thank you very much for viewing. My name is Ed Clark. You've been watching What is Scientology?
Well, the most impressive thing about this evening is celebrating artists and really being educated to the point that even a minister can be an artist. And I would say the best friends to this Protestant minister would be Ebony Awakening and the mission in Houston of the Church of Scientology.
Tonight, for me, was a paradigm shift, totally. I mean, I know Scientology to a certain extent, but this was the happening. It was not something that I expected. It was joyous. It was full of inspiration and aliveness. I loved every minute of it. I just think they should do this kind of thing in every city that has the Scientology centers.
The spirits of the individuals in the room is just almost contagious because it's so positive, so uplifting, and it does something for me every year. This is the 4th that I've attended, and I look forward to it every year. I bring my son because I want him to be exposed to that positiveness and have the wonderful role models that are here at this church.
So we have learned a lot from Scientology, and we want to share that with others too.
Everyone has the right to life, liberty,
and security of person.
Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion
and expression. This right includes the freedom to hold opinions without interference.
No one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his
privacy, family, home, or correspondence,
nor to attacks upon his honor and reputation.
Everyone has the right to freedom of thought,
conscience, and religion.
This right includes the freedom to change his religion or belief.
All human beings are born free and equal
in dignity and rights.
They are endowed with reason and conscience
and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood.
You can make a difference. Urge the world's governments to fully implement the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.